President Trump poised to declare Jerusalem as the capital of Israel in a matter of hours. He'll be keeping a campaign promise to move the U.S. embassy there despite warnings of unrest. Ian Lee is live in Jerusalem with more. What's it like there?
A calm right now, Chris, but U.S. diplomatic missions here and around the Middle East are bracing for any ramifications of that announcement. We know that Israel has also beefed up security around the diplomatic missions. The U.S. State Department has issued a warning to U.S. citizens to avoid any large crowds and the Old City. This comes as key regional allies have urged the United States not to take this step. You have the U.K., France, Turkey, as well as Jordan, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt. Jordan and the Palestinians have called for an emergency session of the Arab League to discuss this move. Even Pope Francis has come out and urged the United States to stick with the status quo. So why is Jerusalem so contentious? Well, in 1967, Israel occupied the eastern part of the city, and according to the international community, the status of Jerusalem would be determined through negotiations and a peace process between the Israelis and the Palestinians. Well, Palestinians see this as a unilateral move by the United States and by Israel to declare Jerusalem the capital of Israel without any peace negotiations, and that's why there's been a call for 3 days of rage. And we need to remember, these walls behind me, they contain the holiest sites in Judaism, Christianity, and the third holiest site in Islam. And just this small area can spark such contention and such a discord. Allison?
Ian, absolutely. Thank you. It's great to have you on the ground there reporting for us. Thank you very much for that. So joining us now for the Palestinian perspective is Hanan Ashrawi. She's the executive committee member of the Palestinian Liberation Organization. Ms. Ashrawi, thank you very much for being with us. So tell us what this means to you if the U.S. Embassy moves to Jerusalem.
Thank you, Alison. Well, actually, it means the death knell of any peace process and the destruction of the chances of peace in the region. It is in one blow. President Trump has destroyed not only the chances of peace, but the stability and security of the region as a whole. He has undermined his closest allies in the Arab world. He has also taken a position that is absolutely illegal and in violation of international law. He has disqualified the U.S., sadly, from playing any role in peacemaking. And at the same time, he has given all extremists and nuts all over the world who are ready to commit acts of violence a ready-made excuse, a perfect excuse, because he has provoked spiritual sentiments, religious feelings, to the point where we don't know how far the ramifications will go.
Well, let's
this is
talk
something
about those,
that is the height of folly. It is the epitome of irresponsibility, frankly.
I want to talk about what happens next, because Palestinian leaders are calling for 3 days of rage starting today. What does that look like?
Yeah. Well, this is not our calling. This is a popular movement. These are grassroots moves. We, as Palestinian leadership, are talking about taking more legal measures, more political measures. We know that we have been excluded, in a sense, from any peacemaking attempt because Israel has and the U.S. have unilaterally decided the outcome of the talks, so the talks are irrelevant. So there is no longer a peace process, and there is no longer any need for the U.S. to pretend to want to play a role in peacemaking. This is one. So we're going to the international community. Yeah. We will go to the International Criminal Court to hold Israel to account for its war crimes. Settlements are a war crime according to the Rome Statute. Also, we will accede to further international organizations. Yeah. We will also reconsider our relations with Israel and with the U.S. And there will be, of course, further ramifications when it comes to the region as a whole. Yes. We are calling on the rest of the international community to recognize Palestine with its capital as Jerusalem.
Yes, you're doing.
Jerusalem
listen,
is occupied territory. Israel illegally occupies it.
Yes, and you're doing an excellent job of spelling out all of the possible ramifications. But back to the possible 3 days of rage starting today I know that you're saying it's not Palestinian leaders, but this is a widely shared memo that's going around. I'll just read some of it. National and Islamic factions are calling on the Palestinian people at home and abroad to confront and reject the American administration's attempt to transfer its embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem or to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of the state of Israel. The days of Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday are declared to be days of rage throughout the country. Is this encouraging violence?
Yeah, you can. That's right, Alison. Yeah, you can focus on one aspect.
Well, let's just talk about the violence.
President Trump bears
just
the
a question about whether or not it encourages violence.
Let me tell you, I'm not debating with you. I'm telling you that President Trump is not only encouraging violence, he is provoking violence. He is also provoking a religious war. He is provoking sectarianism. We are the voices of reason. We have tried to maintain a negotiated settlement. We have tried to legitimize peaceful resolutions to the conflict. On the contrary, President Trump is encouraging voices of extremism and terrorism and so on. And the Palestinian people are defending their rights. If they want to go out and protest, it is their right to protest. They're not talking about violence or attacking anybody.
I understand, but these are called 3 days. These aren't called 3 days of protest. They're called 3 days of rage.
Yeah, well, people are angry. They are enraged, and rightfully so, because President Trump is behaving in an absolutely irresponsible and provocative manner, and he is leading to a situation of tremendous instability and violence. And as I told you, anybody who wants to commit an act of violence will find in this a ready-made excuse, because their most sacred feelings and places are being undermined by this position, and the destruction of the chances of peace. It's not easy to see everything you have worked for all your life to achieve peace being destroyed by one statement, by one man. This is incredible. It's unconscionable.
So here's
no
what
president ever did that, and to do that now.
Here's what, as best I understand it, is the president's rationale. He hasn't been that explicit. But basically what the Trump administration is saying is that Jerusalem has long been the seat of the Israeli government, and keeping the U.S. embassy in Tel Aviv has not advanced the peace process in nearly 2 decades. So why not try something different?
No, because, I mean, they could easily, they've decided that a Palestinian city is their capital. Jerusalem is Palestinian. And nobody on earth recognizes that. And now Trump is going to be the only person who does. This isn't going to change the legal status of Jerusalem, by the way. This will only undermine American standing, interests, and security throughout the world. And it will disqualify, as I said, the U.S. from playing any role in peacemaking. This is serious and irresponsible, as I said. So what has not advanced the chances of peace is Israeli impunity, American collusion with Israel, the total cover and support the U.S. gave to the Israeli occupation, all the funding, all the legal and the political cover and support, the blind bias of Congress, where they legislate on foreign relations in ways that are constitutional and they get away with it. All these things have undermined the chances of peace. Had the U.S. been willing to play the role of an even-handed peace broker, we would have had peace, because we as Palestinians made the historical compromise of accepting Israel on 78% of historical Palestine, and of accepting to share Jerusalem, whereby West Jerusalem would become the capital of Israel once East Jerusalem is the capital of the Palestinian state. But to preempt the status, to prejudge the outcome of the talks, to take sides on an illegal and lawless measure, this is unacceptable at all.
Hanan Ashrawi, thank you very much for joining us with the PLO Perspective. Nice to have you. Ahead on New Day, we will get perspective from Jerusalem's mayor.